Well, it's time for ink transfer drawing with Mark Zimmerman again, and I'm just putting the finishing touches on a plate. That's ink I'm rolling out on a piece of plexiglass, also known as a plate. I'm going to put paper, sheet of paper, face down over that ink, and then I'm going to draw and rub on the back of that paper, transferring the ink to the front of the paper, which for some weird reason is cooler than the drawing you do on the back. Normally I do this in the waiting rooms at Sanford, and I'm here through Sanford Arts, by the way. I can see the ink is inside that tape, and I want to know where that is. There it is. You'll notice that I keep my hand in the air too, because even resting my hand on the back of the paper, touching the back of the paper in any way, transfers ink to the front. I'm going to draw a little frog, and I'm just going to kind of start in the middle. And I'm just going to follow that up there. Kind of skips a little bit right here. I'm going to and off that skip there's another line. So I'm looking at a little red-eyed tree frog is all. So I'm pressing fairly firmly. I'm pretty confident of these lines. Sometimes with ink transfer you can press kind of lightly the first time and then change your mind the second time. There's kind of a cool line here. It's kind of jagged, bumpy, and broken. That first line maybe comes down a little bit farther. Down, I'm drawn from the side so that you see it happen right side up. Let's do this. And then I'm going to skip up just a little bit, follow a kind of a shaky little line back in here. Okay, there's a cool shape in here. It's a shape I don't need to worry much about. It's kind of a complicated shape, but it's also an easy shape because you can't get it wrong. Like that'll work. Alright, I'm going to come to here and just curve a little bit. Well, maybe I'm going to almost kind of measure. I'm going to measure up from that line to about here, and I want to come down to about right there. So I'm looking at a shape that's actually really easy to recognize. It's a circle. It's also a really easy shape to draw way too big. It's a little flat on the bottom. Really easy shape to draw way too big or way too small. So if I want to darken something, I can fill it in too. So he's got a dark pupil in his eye with just a little white spot, and I'm hoping I have a little white spot there. This little shadow, I think a shadow maybe. Anyway, something black, something dark. Let's come back down to here. That line kind of disappears for just a little bit, and it barely disappears. There's a little shape right here I don't want to forget. He's got a little nostril, and we're about here, a little curve, and then up, S curve back down. Darken that pupil again. Now where? Line here. Probably be easier if I could put my hand down. And so he's got a little finger down here and a that'll work. And let's see. Wow, he's got purple skin on his arm. That's so cool. Let's put a little shadow in under his chin. His other arm drops down here. And starts way back in here, doesn't it? Okay. What else do I need here? This actually kind of keeps going. This jagged line. And it kind of comes out right here. So, and I can transfer ink simply by touching this too. I need a littler finger. Get in that little spot. Okay, see if there's anything I want to add in terms of darks and lights. Little shadow there. Little shadow there. Little shadow there. Little shadow there. I think maybe all I want is just a little darkness right along this top. And then I can peek. I can take this tape off. Lift it up, see what I've got. Yeah, that'll work. I think the rest of it I want to do with color. He's a pretty colorful critter, so I don't want to make him black and white. I want to do him in color. There he is. Comes out backwards, of course, because it is a transfer drawing. The watercolor, which is what I have over here for color, kind of traditionally a medium you use from light to dark, kind of. So I'm drawing light shining on a frog. Light shining on a frog. There's some light kind of in the inside his eye too. Too much paint. This is a yellow shape. I'm going to paint it now because I'm going to come back over it with a shadow, and so I want that yellow dry when I come back. He's got yellow skin on the side of him. So I was painting light shining on a frog, and now I'm painting yellow skin. A little light there, a little light there. Let's see, a little light down here, under here too. And let's look at that back leg. Yeah. Get a little more paint. Boy, there's a lot of light shining on this little frog. And I kind of want that to dry, so I'm going to come back with some blue. See, it's turquoise blue. So I'm going to mostly do shadows. That's pretty dark. Pretty outside my lines too. You'll notice that when I go over when I touch the yellow, blue and yellow make green, which is handy because I am looking at a green frog. Nope. I got enough yellow in my brush that I'm not painting blue anymore. I want blue, so I'm going to come back with dip in the blue again, get a little fresh blue, come back in here, and he got a blue spot on his side. It's the kind of thing we can only do if we get a tattoo. This could be even bluer. That might be it for blue. Give it a good rinse. I think I'll come back with some orange. Give that orange a stir. He's a red-eyed tree frog, but some of that red looks actually kind of orange or yellow. There we go. He's got some orange skin down here on his fingers. Touch the blue. I want that blue and orange make brown. I don't want any brown in here, so I'm going to rinse my brush a little bit. Come back up in here. There we go. Okay. I'm going to get rid of quite a bit of paint. No, I'm not. I'm going to dip it in the orange again. I forgot a whole arm. Easy arm to forget. And we only see one leg too, of course, so there we go. Give my purple a little stir. Come back, see how dark that purple is. Yeah, pretty dark. Little purple. Little purple. So the purple is a shadow where it's red. It's also see if I can get a light purple here. We've got kind of a, yeah, that's good. So I don't have white, but what I do have is water, and water makes it all lighter too. I'm going to get into the dark purple too. He's got a purple upper arm here, and it's very dark. Well, not quite that dark. Not quite that dark. And then it's light in the center. So I'm going to change the value of that purple so it's dark and then light. There we go. Now, think the next color I want is kind of a red. Let's see what that red looks like. That'll be good. Okay. So I'm going right over some of those other colors. Right over that purple. I don't want that purple to be there. I want that purple to be a shadow. Same thing on, whoa, getting way outside the lines. Good thing there are no points for staying in the lines in life, huh? Alright. Clean it really well. Come back with some green. Last time I tried the green was pretty strong green, so ooh, bleeding. The red's bleeding into the green. That makes brown. I don't really want brown. The other thing is, the reality of this thing is that it's not a frog. It's a drawing or a painting, depending on what you want to look at it at this point. And so at some point you have to be more interested in it as a painting. It has to work as a painting. Oh, and I know where I forgot some purple. There's a purple shadow, comes across this yellow and across the blue. There we go. That's brown seems really thick. Take an eyedropper and put a couple squirts of water in it. There we go. Now I can let the value, I'm just going to get a bigger brush too. Let the value that I put in with the ink transfer kind of take care of some of that value that I want in the background. So value, darks and lights, value. Dark value, light value. So I'm just, spattering brown paint. Landed right where I wanted it. How's that? Try that again. The rock or wood or whatever it is he's on. And I think I'm going to use this is a color called indigo, which I've not used really before, but I'm liking quite a lot. Kind of a blue-violet, kind of low intensity at 2. And I don't have much in my brush. I'm going to come back and get this little spot in here. There we go. This morning I was out in the studio here working and doing these, and I had the puppy with me. I kind of miss her banging into my ankles and chewing on her toy down there. And just a little bit darker in here maybe. All right. Ooh. Little nasties. What did I do? Okay. I'm going to sign it. They're generally signed in pencil. I'm going to just call this Red-Eyed Tree Frog. Red-Eyed Tree Frog, Zimmerman, 2020. These are free for the taking too, so there should be a stack of them near where you're watching this video at Sanford, and you can help yourself to anything in that stack you like. Try not to get too greedy. And thanks for watching.